I could not deal. Part of me was ready to release a tear, but it couldn't. It could not come out because of that foundation. I was like, oh, it's just so bad, Tamar. I want to take Miss Evelyn's place. You had sex with her man in the bed, in their bed. What you mean? You not trying to take her place, girl? So let's go ahead and get into the Braxton family values. I missed last week's episode. I did see it, but I was on my way out of town for Mother's Day. So I'm just going to quickly wrap up both of them. Of course, on last episode, if you guys watched my last preview, for those who did not who did not watch the show, basically the sisters are all on a family trip with their mom and their dad from, they're all from Maryland or whatever, but they're all on a family trip. And the thing is, the side chick turned into the wife. And she's been the wife for 16 years. So it's a real tough situation. Even for those people like who watch the show, who's had like siblings to come in like out of nowhere, that kind of thing. It is kind of hard to blend families, especially when you're not sure of people's motives and stuff like that. So anyway, so I'm giving you Tamar Confessionals vibe today with the choker. The hair, of course, from my hair company. I didn't want to dye it blonde because I was like, going to blonde. I do want to go blonde. I am going to dye it probably soon, but not today, okay? Now, the thing that I didn't like about this whole family trip thing is that it's just the sisters and their mom and their dad. Like, I understand that that's imperative too, but when I think of family, I think of my family, my immediate family, and then my family. Like, y'all have had 16 whole years of living together in a home before your dad, who was a reverend, cheated on your mom and broke up the family. So, okay, I understand, like, you guys have to have mending time, but I don't understand why all of them didn't bring their kids. And it's crazy because later in the episode, Tawanda wants to all of a sudden bring up the kids. Well, I would have had my kids to Tamar, if I don't know, she's bringing Vince or whatever. I just think that whole thing was real petty for them to harp on. Like, I understand it's a family trip, but Vince had no family. His mom has died, his dad has died, and he almost died last year. So I totally understand him coming. Plus, people forget Vince is one of the executive producers. So is Tamar, so is Trina and Tawanda. And Tony, all of them are. So they all knew that he was coming regardless. I guess they just wanted to play like they didn't know. But I just think it would have been much more entertaining this episode to see all of them interact with their kids. Like Tracy and her son Kevin, they could have came out because we barely see them. Michael's daughter, she was on I think last season or season before last, she could have come out. Tony's kids, we never really see the kids all together. Like, we've seen them in previous seasons, but it was never like a family trip where like everybody's there for the whole weekend or whatever. So I just think that they should have done that from the get-go if they really care about mending or having a blended family. But anyway, I guess, it is what it is. But the sisters were shopping. Tamar kind of brings up that Vince was gonna spend the weekend or whatever, and they were just kind of like, oh, okay. And she was just like, we always like to spend birthdays together, and bust it open. I was like, what open, Tamar? You be doing that with him? I was just like, oh, girl, I don't even want to imagine all that going on. You know what I'm saying? Vince looks good, skinny. I kind of like him chunky in a way, like his face or whatever. But I mean, that's just them. I was just like, oh, okay. It seems like she tries to make us like know that they're like intimate. Like, I feel like she's just kind of putting on a little bit. In a way, I don't know. It is what it is. But Wanda talks with Michael, and he starts talking about, Wanda is the side chick. So he starts talking about like how he cheated and all that kind of stuff. And what irks me the most is that he never really apologized. Like, he's not the apologetic type. He just says, well, I did this because of this. Like, no, if you're sorry and you really care about us, you're not going to give us excuses. Like, that irked the mess out of me with him. So, of course, they're all at dinner. And this was from the episode before last to kind of get into all this. They were at dinner with Miss Wanda. And Tony, at first, it was like a bunch of just chit-chat. Like, oh, what's on the menu? And I'm like, well, what's going on? I probably would have been petty trying to order side pieces and side dishes. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, let me get a side. Oh, my bad, Miss Wanda. Oh, my bad. You know what I'm saying? My bad, heart. Like Margaret would have been, Tony just was like, came out with it like, my mama, we don't like you. basically. Like, we were upset at you. And that's normal. A lot of women always attack the other woman. But in this situation, I feel half torn. Like, everybody was like commenting saying that Miss Evelyn needs to get over it. It's been 16 years. But it's like, how do you get over your friend sleeping with your husband? All in the church now. Y'all church members. Y'all are pastor and first lady at the church. And he not only, here's the thing. This lady not only slept with this man, but she came to the family house. She used to watch the kids and everything. This is what they're all saying. So it's like, this isn't just some side chick. And of course he had multiple women, but this is the one who was at the house. I don't care if I was the type of chick to be with a married dude, I would never go to his home. Like, disrespect is disrespect. But like, why would you go to this woman's home? And you tell me you don't want to hurt her. Like, girl, bye. That's so disrespectful. You can at least have enough class to tell him to come to your house. And he's so trifling. A man need to do that? That's so disrespectful. You don't care nothing about your kids for you to do that. Like, that's just disrespectful. So that's some type of stuff that you just can't sweep under the rug and say, oh, we can be a blended family. No. You messed up God's order. This is biblical. Like, this is holy matrimony. You don't break up marriages. I don't understand why some of these girls out here defending her must be a side chick. Because when you're married, that's it. Like, you become one, literally. Like, that's disrespectful. You made a covenant with God. And then you gonna sit up here and talk about prayer and the Lord said we need to forgive. The Lord also said keep your legs closed to marry men. You know what I'm saying? Clearly. Don't come at me with that stuff. I don't like that. Now, it does seem that Evelyn is not over it or whatever, which I understand, but it's like, you know, she just kind of gives me a vibe where she just like wishy-washy. I don't know. But anyway, I think Tony was kind of scared to really ask. I think they probably cut it out, but I think she was scared to ask her, like, how did this happen? I wanted them to say, why were you sleeping with our daddy at the church? You was my mama friend. Why would you do this? But I guess, you know, when the facts are already there, that's just like asking a hooker, why is she hooking? It's kind of stupid, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, ladies love class. So, you know, basically, you know, the dad was just sitting there like, well, he messed all the way up when he said, I don't owe y'all no explanation. I'm grown. What I do with my women or whatever. And I was like, oh, no. You did not say that. You did not just say that to your 6 children. You did not. Bro, something's wrong with you. How do you, I hate when, that's how you know people are just full of it. They're not apologetic at all. The first thing they do is deflect or say, well, you know, you did this or I did this. You might as well dismiss them folks because they're not going to apologize or be sincere. Like, I could care less if life is short. It is short, but when you making excuses like that and you can't even apologize flat out, like, no. Wanda was just sitting there just like Mr. Krabs. She was sitting there like all the memes. Like, she was just like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? She was just scared. And I was just like, girl, you deserve to be scared. You need to be looking stupid like this. This is what you did. I'm so shocked that she didn't say anything more. It's like they completely ran across the whole issue. The fact that you slept with her, they're like, why did you do that? She didn't say nothing. She didn't say, you know, I apologize for what happened. I knew me and Miss Evans was friends. She didn't say none of that, bro. I just couldn't. So anyway, you know, they just made it seem like it was all his fault. He was the only one that did all that. Like, she didn't have her hand in it. And that's what he was getting at. He was basically defending her. So I'm like, he must really love her because he's really straight up defending this lady. He just taking all the blame. So anyway, Tamar, y'all, and I'm telling you, I felt this situation because I've kind of been there, you know, with my parents. But it's like, Tamar was just, I was trying to feel her emotion, but she did this Michael Jackson. She was doing this Michael Jackson voice. And then, y'all, her foundation, I could not deal. Part of me was ready to release a tear, but it couldn't. It could not come out because of that foundation. I was like, oh, it's just so bad, Tamar. The more and more she got up and was like acting extra, and she was like, I'm like, no. You can see where it just stops right here. I was like, oh my God, somebody, please. It was so yellow. I'm sorry. It was just so distracting. Like, I know in some of my videos, I might have had some color or something that was off my hair or whatever, but baby, you rich. You on American TV, girl. You international TV. You got all this makeup, money. You could go get you some Marc Jacobs or whoever makes foundation, girl, all this stuff. You could go get that expensive stuff and match your foundation. I'm stuck with drugstore and cheap stuff. Don't, like, no ma'am. No, absolutely. Ma'am, it was just killing me, y'all. I was just like, oh my gosh, does anybody see this? So anyway, it was so funny. Tamar was about to turn up, and Trina was like, no, wait. Like how some of these people be at church when they be too in the spirit, and Usher come by and be like, no, wait. Calm down. She was like, okay, I'm going to take this drink. I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all are so freaking stupid. Y'all are extra. But anyway, the dad, he just kept going left. And then he admitted, now this is the part that really hurt my feelings. I was looking like Trina. You know, when Tony got married to Carrie, you know, I love me some Carrie. Her first husband, you know, they were fresh out of their whole relationship. Like, I think he had just cheated on their mom. So he went to their wedding. But of course, like, this is the thing. If you got a side chick, why would I invite you and her to my wedding? And my mom, it's not even about my mom, it's about me. You broke up our home. She broke up our home. Y'all broke up our home. So why would I invite her to my wedding? Something sacred. A wedding is something for just your friends and your loved ones. You don't invite enemies to no wedding. Them folks could be doing voodoo and everything else on you, trying to pray that your marriage ends. Shoot, I wouldn't be on no mess like that. So I just couldn't understand him. He was just like, well, she was my wife. I want to throw a boot at, oh, I want to get some breadsticks and throw it at him so bad. I just want to take everything on the table and just drown him with it. Because he was just missing the whole concept. Somebody who's truly apologetic will understand. Like, who does that? I just don't get it. So anyway, Trina had her wedding next. And, you know, even Gabe, we don't fool with Gabe, you know, but he was like, well, I wasn't doing that anymore. If I couldn't come, my wife couldn't come. And I'm like, your wife, that was the side chick? She will forever be a side chick because that's what she was doing. It's not like, you know, they were divorced already or divorcing already. And then they got together and started a new relationship after that first one. No, they were sleeping together in the home. Then they went to marriage counseling. Then he told her that, you know, he was in love with that lady because she was there for him. Because, you know, he claims she started off as a friend. They were talking every day. Okay, well, if you're a married person, you don't rely on friends when you're going through your marriage problems, especially friends of the opposite sex. Lord, let me stop. I'm having a personal flashback, you know, of the side chicks that, you know, was in my life. But anyway, I'm just saying, that broad, she knew what she was doing. I don't care what y'all say. She knew what she was doing. I don't care if she is old. She was wrong. And she's still wrong. Anyway, she do it then, she do it now. Anyway, the bonnet. Wanda was sitting outside with that bonnet on. It was so funny to me. The way they've been treating her on camera, it's just silly. Like how the camera angles, it's like some sort they even make her look like a side chick on the show. I just don't understand it. And she was like, you know, I want to take Miss Evelyn's place. You had sex with her man in the bed. In their bed. What you mean you not trying to take her place, girl? Girl, what do you mean? Like, get your life. Like, you slept with a married man. You not saying that part. Like, oh, I just can't take it. And the thing is, he even admitted to only marrying her because he was single or lonely. He told them that the first season. He said, well, I was lonely. Like, what? Get you a pet. You get a rabbit. You get a mouse or something. You get a roach or something, girl. At least they show up and don't leave. Like, I just can't. So anyway, last night's episode, they basically recapped it or whatever, and they talk about moving forward. So I'm all for that moving forward, but honestly, if you're gonna move forward, you have to acknowledge your wrongs and then move forward. I mean, you can move forward without forgiving them or with forgiving them and just keeping on, but you wouldn't want them in your space, you know, because they'll do it again or whatever. So anyway, Tamar finally tells them the events was coming. The zip lining was actually fun looking. But, you know, I don't do stuff like that. I would be scared, but I like to see other people do it. It would have been so much so much more fun, or whatever. It would have been fun to see the kids, like all of their kids, zip lining with them. That would have been real fun. Tamar basically wants to have a dinner for Vince. And ironically, the sisters didn't even show up, so I don't even understand that purpose. But, you know, she been with her dad, and she was just like, you know, once again, you can come, but we don't want your wife to come. Like, I'm just not ready for it. The dinner that Vince had, it was alright, you know. What shocked me was that he didn't have any. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. All his friends were there. Now, what I did like was that how Michael Braxton, his dad-in-law, said that, you know, about the in-law situation. My family's just like that. Like, even if y'all divorced, you're still gonna be uncle or auntie or whatever. Like, all of my parents, in-laws or whatever, they're all like family, like dead serious family, like legit family. Like, that's how I think a family should be. It shouldn't be like in-law. It should be like siblings. Like, if whoever I'm married is going to be in my family, my dad is going to call him son. His mom should call me like daughter. Like, it shouldn't be no, oh, that's my daughter-in-law type thing. Like, you know, it should be like, you know, that's my child. Like, clearly I'm not her child, but you know, that's how I want it to be. I think that's how it should be. And like, even my cousins, relatives, they're like, hey, cuz, or whatever. Like, you family. Marriage is a sacred, holy matrimony. You guys become one. Like, you're a unit, a family unit. So family is family. There is no, you know, all that stuff. I understand titles, but that's how I think it should be. So, last part I want to say is, Mama Evelyn seems cocky. Like, she starts thinking like, you know, the wife wants to be around me. And to be honest, I didn't get that vibe from that lady. I think she looked embarrassed. She looked very embarrassed to be at that table. She looked embarrassed to even come on the show. I think Tamar and all of them did that for the views, to get the viewers up, because last season was boring. But, you know, Miss Evelyn needs to stop with the overly cocky thing. You know how some people break up and they be like, well, I'm over him, girl. I ain't even stay him no more, girl. I'm getting my hair done next week. All that kind of stuff. And you just like, but you was, girl, you was just crying last night on the couch. Okay. You know, like, you don't have to do all that. If you're over it, you just be like, oh, okay, well, you know, that was just a situation that didn't work out. And, you know, we're done. Like, we're moving past this. Or with my ex-husband, honest to God, if I saw him on the streets, if I saw him from afar, I wouldn't dare go by him. I wouldn't care. Like, you know, you're dust to me. But if I were to see him in a close vicinity, I'd definitely speak. I'd be cordial, and that's it. Like, I wouldn't be on some, nah, I don't mess with you type stuff, no matter how bad he did me. So what? It's over. Like, it's been years. I would care less. When you're truly over somebody, you don't do petty stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be all extra stuff. I think she needs some more prayer. She does. And so does Michael Braxton, because he gets on my nerve. But yeah, that was basically it. Comment below what you guys think. Make sure you check out my previous review if you've never watched the show and you just kind of want a quick recap. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.